Senate Budget Committee member Ron Johnson joins us now. Mr. Senator, if Schumer had voted to shut down the government, he'd get the blame, and Trump would have more power to run the government as he sees fit. Schumer was in a trap. I don't think we've seen that before.
Well, first of all, understand what legitimate beef would they have to actually vote no against this. A continuing resolution just continues spending at the previous year's level. So who's in charge the previous year? Well, that was Joe Biden and Chuck Schumer. So this is their spending level. This is how they've appropriated between the accounts. So other than tweaking almost $1 trillion bill, it's 900 billion some, by a few billion up or down, it's basically their spending scheme. So, I mean, what legitimate excuse would they have to say, we just can't tolerate this one? So, yeah, in this case, I agree with Senator Schumer. I don't like shutdowns. It costs the government a whole lot more. It's not fair to the people who work for the government. And I think it would have given the president an awful lot more power. I could see the White House just sitting there, make my day, shut it down, give me even more power to, start reducing the size, scope, and cost of government.
Mr. Senator, I've been saying this is the end of an era for Democrats. Biden, Pelosi, Schumer, they seem to be done. Am I going too far?
I hope you're not. That would sure be nice to think that way. But, let's face it, from my standpoint, it was still a reasonably close election. It shouldn't have been close based on all the damage Democrats did during their governing 4 years. So America needs to open up its eyes. It's one of the beauties about what Elon Musk is doing. It's exposing just grotesque levels of waste, fraud, and abuse. Americans have to stop relying on government to the extent that they do, because government doesn't solve very many problems. It exacerbates them. It causes them while it's mortgaging our children's future.
Fox has learned that Trump is putting together a plan to slash federal spending without Congress. Can he do that? Can he cut spending without you guys?
Well, he certainly has potentially some impoundment powers. That would be figured out by the court. But generally what Elon Musk is uncovering, we're going to have to codify that, and we can either cut the spending through a rescission process that starts with the White House. That may be what you're talking about there, or through our reconciliation process. The good news, I was in the White House with President Trump yesterday laying out my idea, my concept of how we can return to pre-pandemic levels of government spending by looking at Clinton in 1998 or Obama in 2014 or Trump in 2019, growing those actual outlays by population growth and inflation and coming up with a baseline budget somewhere between $5.5 and $6.5 trillion to build off of. Now, that's at a minimum saving $800 billion from what we're currently spending. President Trump was intrigued by that. I think he liked the idea, and I'm looking forward to working with him in the White House to flesh that all out. But, listen, any business would go through a budget like this line by line. We don't do that in Washington, D.C. I mean, members of Congress, we have no idea how this money is being spent, which is obvious based on what DOJ is uncovering. So we need to do the work, go through a 5,000 or 6,000 line outlay budget, line by line, ask the questions, why are we spending so much more than just the inflation adjusted 2019? So again, President Trump was intrigued by it. I appreciate that fact. He certainly wants to cut waste, fraud, and abuse. There is so much room for reducing the size of the federal government and getting close, if not balancing the budget.
Go to it. Senator Johnson, thanks as always for joining us. Always appreciate it. See you again soon. Thank you.
Have a great day.